ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहि तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। As we have been discussing this topic, that there are four avasthas, four stages. The first one was called Arambha Avastha, the beginning stage. And the second Avastha called Ghata Avastha. So in the last class we are talking about this Ghata Avastha. Third one will come Parichaya, we will see today. So in Ghata Avastha we say, verse number 63 that we saw very carefully. Pranapana nada bindu jivatma paramatmanah militva ghatate yasmat tasmat vai ghata uchyate. So when the person start practicing, the best thing happens that the prana and apana, both of them cooperate with each other. They never create conflict. So as you are observing yourself, when small thing happens, definitely the prana fluctuates. So when the prana fluctuates, mind fluctuates, everything changes accordingly. So here is being said very nicely and carefully that what we need to do here is, when we keep practicing, both prana and apana will start supporting each other. And one good thing happens, that's why all these yogis, they are very fond of food and other things because of that reason. Because when the prana fluctuates, some food they take or something happens, then and there instantly prana uplifts. So that's why coming back here, not only this prana and apana supports each other, nada bindu, that also we discussed. The sound, the differences supports or gets supported with the bindu, unmanifested one, and jivatma paramatma. And when there is no, most important thing is here, that when there is no disharmony. So when you do not create any disharmony, that is called Ghata Avastha in short. Let us go to the next verse. Yama matram yada dhartum samarthasya tadadbhutah pratyaharastadevasya nantara bhavati dhruvam. Yama matram yada dhartum samarthasya tadadbhutah pratyaharastadevasya nantara bhavati dhruvam. So he says beautifully how this next step slowly is coming. This is called that Parichaya Avastha. Now when you start practicing, then slowly what happens? Yama matram yada dhartum samartha. You should be capable of holding your breath. Dhartum samartha. There should be strength, capability. That's why, in yoga practices, a lot of things are there which I am not able to talk now. Slowly I have decided to mellow down so that, I don't have to get into in details, so that let me not throw too much prana on you people either. So here it says beautifully, just I am trying to gloss over carefully. So when you have strength, and why and how you will have strength, you better understand. Because how your strength fluctuates and why it happens, you know better. So this power of holding breath, and that too for one yama. So one yama means one prahara. So one prahara means almost 3 hours. Okay? From 72 minutes to 3 hours. And that is the stage called Parichaya Avastha. And says beautifully, no, he doesn't talk to Parichaya Avastha, he will talk later on. Sorry, I jumped it. Says, Pratyahara tadeva syat. Nantara bhavati dhruvam. Beautiful point he highlights here. That this is the stage that the person reaches when you are able to hold your breathing, let us say Kumbhaka, for 3 hours. That is the stage called Pratyahara. In Yoga Chudamani Upanishad, we had seen little differently. Please refer. That's why each text talks a little bit differently. And of course, in Vedanta, we do talk differently. But if you look at all the essence, actually are one and same. There is no difference at all. Only approaches differs. So he says beautifully here. So when you are able to hold for 3 hours, definitely you will be able to withdraw from anything and everything. That is called pratyahara. Your mind will not get engaged unnecessarily in anything. Whatever is required, that much. Because the transaction becomes so less. Because always I highlight this point, remember, the pot having many holes. You can keep pouring water. And interestingly, the holes that we have, it is a double way. Water can get in and water can get out. It's amazing holes, okay? It's not one, only it will get drained, so you have to close it. You understand? It is not that sort of hole. The water can get in, also can get out. It means prana can get in, prana also can get depleted. It's amazing holes we have. And moreover, if you make that only to go out, and only prana should come only through the mouth. You understand? Through the eating. For a common person, please don't misunderstand. For a common person, prana comes only through eating, nothing else. And once in a while, not fighting with one's own self. Called regenerating, okay? That's why they want to go outing. Holidays. Means where you don't fight with yourself. Why you want to go for holidays? What is the purpose of holidays? Let me pamper up myself. Enough. So this is how common people live their life. That's why there is no holiday. In fact, every day is a holiday. That is the life. And moreover, there is no need of holiday either. Because if your prana comes from only one source, through the mouth, and of course, when there is no fight in you. Means your ego is not being challenged. Fight in you means what? Your ego is not being challenged. So you will keep eating, prana comes, some energy comes, there is no prana, okay, the gross part of the prana. I would rather say tamasic part of prana. Remember, we have to also look at the prana has got three aspects, we have to look at that. So the tamasic aspect of prana, that's why please understand, whenever we feed this, we offer the food to the deity, beautifully we do it. Even though the deities only take the smell, they don't eat. It's an amazing concept to understand this point also, how the prana works. That's why the deity stands for, or the deity is the embodiment of prana, unlike any religion. Because in India, especially in Hinduism, every deity is nothing just embodiment of prana, including the temples. That's why when a prana goes down every 12 years, all this, Kumbhabhishekam has to be done. And a lot of things, a lot of factors are involved in that to make sure that the deity or the place where the deity resides has to have real prana. That's why many things are being done. For example, just I would like to say today, being car festival, even if the chariot that was being made, the chariot has to go through pratishtha. Pratishtha means one type of ritual where you have to purify and you have to establish prana over there. So you cannot put the deity just like that. Because if you try to put the deity just like that, everything is over. Whole prana things will go away. The concept is lost. It becomes only a superficial festival to gather people and to socialize and to propagate. So they do all the processes. And maybe because of these are the reasons, like Supreme Court had to give the permission to this only Puri temple, because strictly they have given Rath Yatra can be done only in the Puri temple, not in any other temple. This is the statement. They have given only permission to Puri, not to any where to do the car festival. Coming back, because all these things are related to prana, I am just trying to highlight how the prana is connected everywhere. That's why when you go to the temple, that was the culture. That was the culture. I'm sorry to say, now it's no more. That's why when you go to the temple, there was a dress code. Why different type of people were not allowed? Please understand, so many different varnas were not allowed. Because if that varna particular gets in, they will drain the prana of that place. Especially looking at this Jagannath today, because that was the main for this. In fact, one of the argument was there, which is true also, because Jagannath himself comes out just to make sure to be available for everybody. So that means it's like, in your house when you discover, please understand, if somebody is going to drain your prana, will you allow that person to come and sit in your drawing room or in your bedroom? So how you will handle it? If you are smart enough, thank you, let us go for a tea. Let us go for a cup of coffee. So enjoy coffee. So instead of here coffee, smart, I am going, where I am going back? He goes back to his own native place where he was born. For 9 days trip is, to remind that where he was born, so he travels to that place. So okay, whoever wants to come, no problem, see, I will see everybody, chapter is over. Then I am restricted, I am going to maintain my prana, and so that I can help you all. Please understand most important aspect. And I have seen very carefully with reference to temple, whichever temple is able to maintain the prana, that temple deity is always powerful and that temple continues. Whereas which temple is not able to maintain prana, that temple gets closed. In India, one of the best example I would like to say openly, which is now changing slowly. One of the best example is Tanjore Brihadiswara. One of the beautiful, marvelous temple. We should see the architecture. In fact, I was lucky to be with Pujya Swamiji to see inside where one is not allowed to enter. And in between, because of some reason, they completely stopped puja. And everything was collapsing. Now again they have started. So once this starts, now there is a moment that things are happening. So when there was no puja, there was, means once in a while they do it, not in the proper way. Then what happens? That's all. So also, please understand how the deity is there, so also in your body, in yourself. All these things, please understand, only connected to prana to make sure that you are not engaging unnecessarily anywhere to deplete, to destroy your prana. In fact, your job is to make sure, this is the most important aspect, the prana to become more and more subtler. Or you want to talk that prana to become more and more sattvic, if you want to talk little Vedantic language. That is the purpose. Or else what will happen? Your prana will be gross, remember. And if your prana is gross, definitely you will not be energetic at all. All your energy will be derived from your food and with your ego. It's like, for example, when you are lying down, just observe this point. When you are lying down, that's the beautiful example we give. Suppose you are in the jungle, you have not taken food, you are so tired, suddenly you hear the sound of the tiger. Then what happens to you? You get all energy to run. In fact, the way you will run, I am sure you will win Olympic. Gold medal, not any other medal, okay? Straight away gold medal. Where from you get that? That prana, that energy, that's out of here, out of survival. Because you are pushed to that, then what happens after some time? So that means if your prana keeps fluctuating, becomes more ups and downs, remember that means you have your gross prana. That grossness is there. So that grossness has to be polished. Any time of your day, that subtleness of prana should be there. And when you are really looking at all these things, and that's why the pratyahara is more important here. Because without pratyahara, without learning to withdraw one's own sense organs from the respective sense objects, pratyahara means what? Learning to withdraw the organs of perception, sense organs, from their respective sense objects. The eyes need not get into many things. The ear need not get into many things. The skin need not get into many things. The smell need not get into many things. Remember, all these are organs of perceptions. One should be able to withdraw as the time demands. That's the purpose here is being highlighted. That's why, please understand, for that, this is pranayama. Let us look at how it is possible, what to do, what not to do, brings this next Vedanta, beautiful concept, which also generally in Srividya tradition, this concept also is there little differently. When they do the initiation, let me not get into all these things. After Sodashi, there is one more initiation. So in that, this is being taught generally. So all these things matches here perfectly. How? Let's look at Yam Janati Yogindraha तं तं आत्मेति भावयेत् यैरिन्द्रियैरविद्वान् यैहि इन्द्रियैर्यद्विधानः तरिन्द्रियजयो भवेत् यं यं जानाति योगीन्द्रः तं तं आत्मेति भावयेत् यैरिन्द्रियैरविधानः तरिन्द्रियजयो भवेत्. I hope after the class you are not keeping the text as it is somewhere. Then before class look at where is the text. Of course, luckily all your text is in your mobile phone or your computer, so that you don't have to search for. The moment you get connected, it is available. Please, if this is the case, you will not really enjoy much. Only I am working and I will be working. Spend some time, look at the text, how it talks, what it does, and all these things, so that it becomes more familiar. However, choice is yours. That's none of my business. Just to remind you, says beautifully, yam yam janati yogindra. So whatever a yogi, the practitioner, starts perceiving. So janati means knowing, to know. Here is knowing means what? Perception. Organs of perception. Whatever the organs of perceptions starts perceiving, starts, you can say, experiencing or getting exposed, absolutely no problem. So like for example, if the eyes start seeing the color and form of anything, the ear starts hearing any sound, or the nose starts smelling any smell, then what happens generally? Beautiful concept it talks here. Then what happens? This is the key again, Vedanta. Suppose I see a beautiful color, except landscape, because landscape I cannot carry with me, okay? If I say beautiful landscape, I cannot carry. But I can think, oh wow, I cannot carry, but I can have a landscape later on. Suppose I say beautiful rose, a colorful rose, or colorful any flower, what I'll do? Wow, so nice, let me have it. The mind goes directly towards that. When I smell something, automatically there is a tadatmya bhava. Please understand, this is the most important aspect. The tadatmya bhava means there is a closeness with that object, sense object. And because of this closeness, there is oneness. You don't want to be away from that. Not that that object should not be away from you. That's not the point. You don't want to be away from that object. Can you see this point? The color that you see, the form that you see, the smell that you smell, and of course the touch that you have. Now you don't want to be away from that. Why you don't want to be away from that? Because you know that is different from you and you are different from that. So as long as there is a duality, as long as there are differences between me and what I experience, what I perceive, now what happens? My sense organs go crazy to have it. Can you see? Even if I am not capable of, please understand, most important aspect. Even if I am not capable of holding it, I am not capable of maintaining it, I am not capable of grabbing it or acquiring it, still I will try my best till last. That is what everybody does in life. Whatever you see, you want to grab. Now you can see beautifully. Now how this advertisement era is more powerful. How they sell the products. Is there anything? There is nothing. Just advertise. Create the curiosity in people's mind. The prana is so gross. Moment you create the curiosity and they have money, they will go for it. simplest way. And you buy, you want to grab. So that is called, buying and getting ready. And also you can see anything and everything is completely based on this concept. That's why he says, beautiful this point, what you need to do. He says, yam janati. This is the most important concept. How to manage yourself, how to carry yourself, how to maintain your energy, how to really be indifferent at any given situation. Whenever you perceive, whenever you experience anything in your life, so in the process of exposing yourself, experiencing yourself, tam atmeti bhavayat. So may you visualize, may you understand, may you really assimilate the teaching as what? They are nothing but me, myself. The object that I see is not different from me, which we have discussed in the first chapter itself. Through Adhyaropa Nyaya. So that how the Adhyaropa, the superimposition was there, then after that it was being destroyed. So here he says beautifully, we need to look at very carefully that whatever you experience, while experiencing, never think that object, that situation is different from you. Because if you try to see the differences or you create differences, then there will be more urge. Mind will start rebelling. Mind will like to prove passively or actively. Remember, there are two types of proving. Sometimes you prove passively, sometimes you prove actively. Sometimes actively proving is better. Because when you try to prove actively, you get heated up by everybody. Everybody slaps you, situation and everything slaps you, don't worry. Whereas when you try to prove passively, you know what happens. You go through very tough time, which neither you can share with anybody, nor you can digest in the process. You destroy yourself and your prana completely. So here he says that whenever you perceive something, in the process of perceiving, this is a knack. That's what I am trying to say is when you try to practice this kumbhaka, through that you have to understand it. I would like to tell you one secret here. To be very honest, all of you are practicing seriously or just I am talking all the secrets so that you will use or misuse or abuse later on, I do not know. I am seriously asking, all of you really, will you please raise your hand? All of you are really seriously practicing or simply just attending the classes? Come on. Okay. Thank you. Whoever are not doing, please do it. If you want to see some change, or else, because sometimes when I see this thing, I don't feel like talking. This is my problem. Because, or else what will happen, this knowledge will be entirely different. Try to pick up few things. That's why if you observe how I hope when I am talking this text, because many of you are very close to me, you have seen me in and out, how I function. Some of you are like 10 years, 20 years associated. Now if you observe whatever the text talks, have you not seen it in my day-to-day life? Is it not affected in my day, but reflected, not affected, reflected in my day-to-day life functioning? Whatever you see in the text, I can blindly say that everything is reflected in my day-to-day activities, what I do, how I look at what I do in my life. Every point is being there, I can blindly say this. Please, that's why I try to practice. However, please understand. The most important thing in the pranayama is, which we have discussed in a few occasions. When you start practicing, first keep practicing. After practicing, you have to understand the urge of breathing. Which we have highlighted in Vastrika. Always I say after Vastrika, please understand when you retain, try to understand the urge of, in our yoga teachers training course that I have highlighted very carefully, try to understand the urge of your breathing. Why that breathing comes, what makes you, what pushes you to breathe. And that urge of breathing is there all the time. Once you understand the urge of breathing, then it becomes easier for you to elongate, to prolong, to extend. So here, that's why while experiencing, like while retaining how this urge of breathing is very important, so also while experiencing anything in your life, you need to be aware and you have to visualize, you have to understand that whatever you are experiencing are not different from you. In fact, they are extension of you. Then what happens? Will your mind go crazy for anything? Somebody says, oh, there is a beautiful city to see. Thank you, I am happy here. Unless some work, something is there. That's a different thing altogether. Mind will not be interested to see anything in life. As they say beautifully, especially in American way of saying, if you see one downtown, you will see all downtowns. Means you can understand every downtown is same. Only in America, okay? Europe is not like that. Every downtown is different. So, means all are stereotype, you understand? So also, please understand, when you understand that principle, definitely nothing will happen. That's why the next line says beautifully, Yai indriya yad vidhana. That is the point I discussed in details. So when the organs, indriyams, the sense organs, keeps doing its job, means engaged in their respective field, bringing informations. Now when they do it, and what you do, in the process of doing that, your job is you have to visualize. But generally what you do, generally what happens, not what you do, what happens. When any information comes, there is a dissociation, there is a gap, that's why you are curious. There is a curiosity. Now that curiosity leads to proving, owning up, because deep within you want to see the oneness. Please understand, deep within, without your knowledge, you want to see that oneness, but you do not know what does the oneness mean. So you mean oneness means what? Owning up. That's why what you do, you try to own up, you try to impose, you try to create the closeness, you try to do all methods in your way to make sure that there is oneness. It's like a child tries to help a butterfly who is not able to fly properly. Please understand, it's a very painful situation to see. And especially I have seen many cases, many occasions, child wants to help any small fly, not able to fly. Then what happens in the process when child tries to dodge, tries to catch, in the process doesn't know how to hold carefully, then finally that insect dies. The intention of the child is perfect, but what is the end result? And if you look at your life, you do the same thing in your life. Your intention is perfect. Without your knowledge, you want to see the oneness. Without knowing what is oneness, then you try to impose, you try to own up, you try to do this, do that, to make sure that this is me, this is me, this is me. Finally, what happens? your prana completely gets destroyed. That's why he says beautifully, when you understand this, moment it happens, you visualize. Then you have a choice which will come later on. Then you have a choice what to do, what not to do. And of course, your sense organs starts listening to you. Tad indriya vijayo bhavet iti, indriya jayo bhavet iti. You start conquering over them. Means your sense organs cannot rule over you. They cannot boss over you. In fact, you cannot become their slave either. You are the master, you are the boss of your sense organs. How? Then next means what happens? Let us read. Yama matram yada purnam bhavet abhyasa yogatah ekavaram prakurvita tada yogo cha kumbhakam dandashtham yada vayuh nischalo yogino bhavet स्वसामर्थ्यात् दांगुष्ठे तिष्ठेत् बातुलवत्सुदी यावमात्रं यदा पूर्णं भवेत् अभ्यासयोगतः एकवारं प्रकुर्वीत तदा योगी च कुम्भकं दण्डाष्ठं यदा वायुः निश्चलो योगिनो भवेत् स्वसामर्थ्यात् तदांगुष्ठे तिष्ठेत् पातुलवत्सुदी. It's a beautiful way of looking at. So all these things, now you can understand the Purana concept here also. Everything is there. So whatever you see in the Purana, you see is imaginary, but everything is reflected. So he says beautifully, now Yamamatra yada punnam bhavet abhyasa yogatah. So when, of course, says beautifully, when you keep practicing. So here there is a practice involved. So with this practice, what happens? The person or you or the yogi starts maintaining this kumbhaka. And for how long? Yamamat. For 3 hours. Then you will discover there will be balance. In fact, it's an amazing stage, because though I have not done that long, to be very honest. So whatever time I have done, it's amazing. So nice to get balanced and all these things. Your body will be so nice, balanced. And really you enjoy a lot. And then what happens, he says beautifully, he goes one step ahead. The person can balance oneself on his thumb. One angushtham. With the angushtham, you can balance yourself. Means the body becomes so light. Everything you can control. Because the strength is so strong, you can control. And of course, when you do this thing, you appear as the Vatulam, like insane mad person. What nonsense he is doing? What is happening? People start ridiculing you in the beginning. You can see, for example, including Lord Krishna. When those days, there was one particular Purnami, on full moon day, Indra was being worshipped. So Indra Purnima. In fact, I remember in one place, I never knew this from childhood. I went to one of my relative house, and they do Indra Purnima. So like they worship in that day and blah blah blah. I said, what is going on? Okay, but it was nice. I remember now, nice. But when those days when Indra was being worshipped, at that time Lord Krishna says, why you are worshipping Indra? What is this? Indra means the god of rain, the king of the kings. Okay? What is this? We better worship this Govardhana, the mountain. Because of a mountain we are protected. Our cows are grazing, everything happens on this mountain. So this is more important. Let us worship. So people started going crazy. What nonsense, this young boy, small boy talking nonsense. For generations we are worshipping. How can we do this? Do that? And of course, Some of them had to listen to it and they started doing it. Indra got angry. So when Indra got angry because he did not get his quota, then he, as usual, he started pouring water left, right. So what to do? Krishna said, don't worry. So he lifts the whole mountain with the finger. Okay? Just with the left finger, lifts the whole mountain and asks everybody, come on, right. Now he could rescue everybody. Let the rain god rain as much as possible. See, all these things are symbolically present through this pranic or yogic tradition. Whereas when we listen to how is it possible, these are all the stories, humbug things to look at. In reality, it is not humbug. There were few years back, okay, now also there will be some cases, I am sure, few years back, like 20-30 years back, people were there, sadhus were there. Do you know, when they lie down, the bodies become different, which will come later on. Bodies will get scattered. Means each portion of the limb will get scattered. I knew some people and some people have seen it. It will get scattered. Then when the person gets up, all the body comes together, joined together, and he walks, comes and joins, walks. It's not a big thing at all. That's why, in fact, the example, you know, the Sesadi Swamigal, this is the Sesadi Swamigal's example in Tiruvannamalai. Sesadi Swamigal was a great yogi. The adjacent ashram to Ramana ashram. In fact, Ramana ashram is adjacent to him, not it's the other way around. I am sorry to say. Because everybody knows Ramana Maharshi. But Sesadi Swamigal was such a great personality, great yogi. Let me not get into this yoga aspect, is entirely different. So that's why he says, you have that, okay, fine, I want to know. Let us look at next. Tata parichayavastha yogino abhyas, Tata parichayavastha yogino abhyasato bhavet yada vayuschandra suryam tyaktva tishtati nishchalam Vayu paricito vayu Shushumna vyomni samcharet Tata parichayavastha Yogino bhyasato bhavet Yada vayuschandra suryam Tyaktva tishtati nishchalam Vayu paricito vayu Shushumna vyomni samcharet. Says beautifully. Tataha, thereafter what happens? Slowly. Of course you need to do keep practicing. Abhyasa, that's the most important thing. So as you keep practicing, the yogi keeps practicing, what happens? Now reaches a stage called Parichaya Avastha. So what happens there? He says there beautifully, Yada, when Vayu Chandra Suryam Tyaktva. Generally you keep breathing either through Chandra Nadi or Surya Nadi. Okay? So Chandra means left, Surya means right. I hope you remember that, okay? Or I have to remind you, okay? Because I am looking at some of you are blinking. Oh, what is Chandra Surya Nadi? Swamiji, this is a very old lesson, okay? Please don't bring that old lesson. Always you should think of ahead, okay? Anyhow, so he says, as you keep inhaling, generally all the time this comes through the Chandra and Surya Nadi. But here he says, there is no more Chandra and Surya Nadi involved. But it becomes very stable. So once you become stable, the breathing becomes stable. Already I have told the trick long back. This is the point now. I have already spoken in details long back. Nothing I have kept it secret. In fact, to be very honest, I have never seen this text. Every day I am reading text and translating and talking to you people. Till now, I do not know what is the next chapter. To be very honest. So every day, because I have decided, whatever class I will take, only that much I will read beforehand and spend time and translate and talk. Because I don't want to confuse me at this moment. Then I will go crazy, I will not be able to talk at all. Because I will think, oh, you understand? So I create pressure for myself in this way. So it's beautifully. So once it becomes stable, all the tricks and techniques I have talked, I don't want to talk here. Then what happens? Bayuhu parichito. So there is, because this is what called parichita avastha. You are able to recognize yourself. And of course you will talk, it will pass through different type of chakras, which we will talk later on as we will see it. It happens really beautiful way it happens. Then what happens to this Vayu? Vayu is no more in Chandra or Surya Nadi, it gets into Susumna. So Sushumna Vyomni Sancharet. The air keeps moving in Sushumna. Don't ask me in details because we have already seen or we have discussed in details the process and everything many times earlier. And please don't ask this question any moment. Because I don't want to give the link. Because it is up to you find out the link. Fantastic. I understand. Then what happens? What will happen? What about me and my life, my karma? Don't worry. He says beautifully. Kriya saktim gruhitveva chakran bhitva sunischitam yada parichaya avastha bhavet abhyasa yogatah trikutam karmana yogi tada pashyati nishchitam kriya saktim gruhitveva chakran bhitva sunischitam yada parichaya avastha bhavet abhyasa yogatah trikutam karmana yogi tada pasyati nishchitam. Says beautifully. Now this yogi, again abhyasa, because of the practice. Now there is a kriya sakti involved. Kriya sakti brings all type of powers to do. All these powers starts coming. Already we have discussed. Now because of this so much energy, please understand, this is the conflict comes here. As you know, with reference to each emotions, each chakra is related. So generally we say chakra becomes each chakra represents one type of emotions. That's why if you observe, this is called this past that regression therapy, past life regression therapy, which we do not do in our way. We never do it but we look at what was your past life and what are the remedies to be done. That we work on entirely differently. So here, if you observe that based on your emotion, the chakra gets imbalanced. Not only chakra gets imbalanced, you can see also outwardly. For example, one small example I would like to say openly, which is very careful way. Like navel. The navel region shifts little bit here and there based on the practice. Literally, physically it changes. So, just I am trying to say how it happens, because I have spent enough of time all these things, so that's what I am trying to say. So, that means the emotions that we go through, and if you observe yourself, this is a beautiful trick you can remember. Actually, all these healings and other things comes under this category. There is nothing. In fact, if I try to create a package with all of you, for example, all my teachers should do this, do that. It would be a very safe way. There's nothing wrong in it. But the problem is I am a person, I cannot hold anything secret, okay? This is my problem. But I think we have to create some package. And anyway, by the way, I would like to say how far it is true, we do not know. Today Baba Ramdev has come out, because today being a very auspicious day. Very smart. So he has come out with the corona medicine. And he claims that 100% successful. So Ayurvedic medicine called Coronil. Coronil. So today he has come up, and of course with the help of the doctors and other things, so he launched today. So being auspicious, he knows how to hit well. And really if it works 100%, even if 90% works, that's all. Beautifully, so good, he has done a good job. Because now, nothing actually, to be very honest, I am sure there will be some type of herbs where your immunity system will be stronger. Once your immunity system is stronger, nothing will happen. So, but definitely there will be something, we do not know exactly what is inside. However, so what I was trying to say, so this chakra, how it really works. I was trying to say something, because I got diverted because of that reason. Just visualize yourself. So when you visualize yourself, just closing your eyes, visualize yourself. The moment you visualize yourself, wherever your mind gets stuck, or you ignore that, or you jump over that place. When I say visualize, let us say visualizing from toes to head. Just observe which area either mind ignores, not able to visualize, jump over, or mind gets stuck in one area, either or. In that area, you have some problem. It's a very simple way to do the diagnosis of yourself. Mind will not. If there is some issue, mind will not move, will stay there. So, all these are chakra methods. She says beautifully, let me not get into this other aspect, healing aspect, that is not our class here. Okay? So when the person starts acquiring this, now is able to, let us say, penetrate, able to pass through, able to destroy the bondage of the chakras. Means whatever clusters are there in the chakras, you understand? Because there are different type of clusters in each of your chakra. Now all these clusters are resolved. So once the clusters are resolved, please understand, beautifully says, the person understands the threefold effect of karma. So what is the threefold effect of karma? Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika and Adhidaivika. Related to one's own self. The effect of the karma related to one's own self. Related to the nature. Sorry. Related to the nature means all this animal, neighbor, everything put together, okay? And related to the God means all the natural calamities that you are going through. So the person understands it, because please understand, the karmic theory is as such, which will be taught in the next verse beautifully, that okay, we can look at this also, next one. Let us look at next one so that we will complete this one, okay? Tatasya karma kutani pranavena vinasaye sayogi karma bhogaya kaya puhyam samachare. Says, beautifully. Once you understand the karma theory, there are two options for you. In fact, there is no option, to be very honest. It appears as the option, but in reality there is no option. Because more you grow, you cannot exercise the option. It is exactly like, if you are working as an ordinary person, means as let us say 4th grade employee in any organization, you have a choice to go to office or not to go to office. Suppose if you are CEO of the company, do you have any choice? You say yes, you may not go there, but physically you may not go to the office, but morning you get up, mentally you are in office, eating time in office, every time in office. You understand? What choice you have? You don't have any choice. Same thing also, as you keep practicing, growing up more and more, really you don't have much choice. With reference to karma, you have to allow to get it unfolded. That's why the compassion becomes spontaneous. You become compassionate towards yourself, towards others. This is how it happens. Says beautifully, what it is to be done, he says, then yogi would like to destroy the effect of this karma. How to do? Tata karma kutani pranavena vinasvet, with the help of omkara. So all this effect of karma is getting destroyed by the help of omkara. And you know why and how, that we have discussed earlier, okay? Means the impact of karma will not affect you because you have dissociated yourself from the effect. It is exactly like, I can give this example beautifully, conveniently. Now I am not in Chennai. Now Chennai is going through lockdown. I am dissociated. Does it affect anything to me? Does it matter to me? Let there be 2 more weeks. Why 2 more weeks? 4 more weeks lockdown. I am very happy here. I know, he will curse me. You understand? Lockdown continues. But I am not affected. Suppose if my mind is there, let us say, ashram is going on, this or that, so many things are happening, everything is stopped. My mind is, even though physically I am here, mentally I am there. Now the moment I get the lockdown news, what happens to me? You understand? So here it says pranavena vinasayat. How once you start chanting pranava onkara, the dissociation happens. That we have discussed in details. That means you are no more owner. So when you are not owner, let it continue. And remember, physical owner is better than being mental owner. That's why remember one thing, always I say myself, I have not taken contract to do anything for anybody. Including that class I have to take, I have not taken contract. This I am very clear. I have not taken contract to do anything for anybody. At the same time, I am happy to do many things for everybody. That should be the attitude. That should be the approach. That's why keep this onkara, or he says, that is also sayogi karma bhogaya kaya viham samacharit. Now after dissociating, but remember, the effect of karma you cannot. So you need to allow it to happen. So if you do not allow it to happen, again you have to be born, again you have to go through the nonsense, or nuisance, not nonsense, nuisance, better word. That's why in India we have a beautiful saying, especially with reference to married life, okay? 7 generations, means 7 lives. the wife or husband will be for 7 lives. You do not know whether this is the first or last. So everybody hopes this is last, okay? Before marriage, everybody hopes this is first. During long time, before marriage, everybody hopes, wow, this is my first. After marriage, everybody confirms, not hopes. Everybody confirms. This is the last. No more, no more, no more. So what I am trying to say is, the effect continues. That is the most important aspect I would like to highlight, okay? The effect continues. So he says, in order to effect to continue, not to allow to prolong or to fructify in coming lives, the person here chooses, he accomplishes one type of method called Kaya Vihya. So Kaya Vihya means where you allow, it's like, you create a type of energy where you protect your body, allowing to go through. So there is a trick. Let me not get into, okay? Allowing yourself. No, it is not possible. Please understand, it's not like, like chakra we have. Don't talk all these things, because to understand chakra here, please understand, there was a war called chakra here in Mahabharata comes. Only 3 people knew chakra here those days. Only 3 people, not even 4. Who are they? The guru, the teacher, Drona, Arjuna, because Arjuna was taught from Drona, because Drona happens to be, Drona loved Arjuna to make him best disciple. Do you know what he did, what he didn't do? Another thing. Third one, Lord Krishna. Not even a 4th person. And Arjuna's son was hearing when he was in the stomach. He knew only how to enter. When Arjuna was talking to his wife Subhadra, that how to come out, that time she slept off. Poor fellow, inside the stomach, did not hear at all. So, let us say 4th person knew halfway how to enter, but never knew how to come out. Because for these sort of things, you need a stage. You need to have some preparation. Without this preparation, I am sorry. So that's why he says beautifully, there is a Kaya Vihya, one type of way of protecting your body and allowing the body to suffer or enjoy. Both. You allow yourself to exhaust, this is the purpose, to exhaust your vasanas, to get unfolded your vasanas without being affected by them. And how more of it? We'll see. What are the things to be done? Because when you do it, definitely there will be some consequences. It's not that easy. Then he says, next verse will say, yes, you need to spend time for each chakras. Which will talk that asmin kala mahayogi panchada dharanam bhavet yena bhuyat asiddhi syat tatah bhutam bhuta bhayapaha, which we'll see tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.